Planet Labs operates 200 satellites that photograph every inch of land on Earth, every single day. On April 4, 2026, the company sent a quiet email to its customers: no more satellite images of Iran. Indefinitely. The US government asked them to stop. Right now, as an active war burns, fought in your name, funded by your taxes, you are being blocked from seeing it. That is not speculation. That is the documented reality. And it begins with a war most people still don't fully understand. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel jointly launched Operation Epic Fury, nearly 900 strikes in just 12 hours targeting Iran's missile systems, air defenses, and top leadership. Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei was killed in those strikes. This happened 8 days after President Trump issued a 10-day nuclear ultimatum, just as negotiations stalled. Since then, Iran has retaliated against Gulf states, hitting the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, striking Dubai International Airport, and targeting ports across Oman and the UAE. No ceasefire. No end in sight. And almost no independent cameras inside the war zone, until you understand exactly how much was being captured from space. Planet Labs PBC is not a niche startup. It is the largest private satellite imaging company on Earth. 200 satellites in orbit. Every piece of land on the planet photographed every single day. As of late March 2026, the company is valued at approximately $10.7 billion, reporting $307 million in annual revenue, up 26% year-over-year. Before this blackout, journalists at Reuters, NPR, and The Washington Post routinely used Planet Labs imagery to independently verify and fact-check military claims. That independent record is now gone. And here is the detail worth noting: Planet Labs stock jumped 18% the very same week they announced the blackout, partly driven by government war zone data contracts. The blackout did not happen overnight. It came in 3 calculated steps. When the war began on February 28, Planet Labs imposed a 96-hour delay on all Middle East imagery. Then on March 9, that delay stretched to 14 days, with the restricted geographic area quietly widened. Then came April 4, the final move. All imagery dating back to March 9, withheld indefinitely until the end of the war. The company announced a managed distribution model, images released only on a case-by-case basis for what it calls urgent, mission-critical requirements. Think carefully about what that phrase means. Someone now decides what you are allowed to see. Not a court. Not a journalist. Not you. Here is what you could see before the curtain dropped, and why those in power needed it gone. Planet Labs imagery showed fires burning on Iranian warships at Bandar Abbas port on March 2. It captured tunnel entrances destroyed at the Tabriz missile base in northwestern Iran on March 1. It documented severe damage at the Parchin military complex outside Tehran, linked directly to Iran's ballistic missile program, on March 6. It even captured the destruction of the U.S. Navy's own 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, including 2 downed radar domes. Separately, Banter satellite imagery confirmed damage at Iran's Natanz nuclear enrichment facility, verified by the IAEA. These images were not just dramatic. They were the only independent evidence capable of contradicting official narratives. Now sealed. The legal tool making this possible has a name: Shutter Control. It traces directly back to Presidential Decision Directive 23, signed in March 1994. Under this framework, codified in the National and Commercial Space Programs Act, the Secretary of Commerce can compel any licensed satellite operator to halt data collection or distribution whenever national security or foreign policy is deemed at risk. A cabinet-level decision is required to invoke it. Legal scholars and press freedom advocates have long argued that shutter control, when exercised, constitutes an unconstitutional prior restraint on the press, a direct violation of the First Amendment. Courts have never definitively ruled on it. The government has never invoked it this broadly. And so far, not one institution has successfully challenged it in court. Here is where the story gets murkier. The Pentagon declined to confirm whether it formally ordered the blackout. Planet Labs and fellow provider Vanter both described their actions not as direct orders, but as voluntary compliance with a government request. Critics say that distinction is meaningless when the company holds hundreds of millions of dollars in government contracts and its stock just jumped 18%. Meanwhile, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr has been issuing ominous warnings to broadcasters about fake news, threatening license revocations. Multiple other satellite imagery firms have quietly imposed their own delays on Middle East coverage. Oregon State University's Conflict Ecology project is attempting to fill the gap with lower-resolution European Copernicus radar satellite data. Nothing comes close to what Planet Labs provided. The sky went dark. And almost nobody noticed. Think carefully about what this actually means. For the first time in history, a private company with 200 satellites in orbit, capable of showing every missile crater, every burning ship, every flattened building in near real time, has agreed to look away. Not because the technology failed. Not because the images do not exist. Because someone made a phone call, and a company worth $7 billion decided compliance was the better business decision. The satellite images of this war exist right now. They are sitting in servers in San Francisco at this very moment. What they show, what they contradict, what the casualty figures actually look like from 400 miles above the Earth, that answer is being withheld from you. And no one can tell you when you will be allowed to know. This story is still unfolding. The images are still locked. The war is still ongoing. And most people have no idea this censorship even happened. Follow this channel right now, because by the time mainstream coverage catches up to what is buried inside this war, we have already been digging for weeks. Hit follow. Turn on notifications. What we found next is even harder to believe than this.